What's going down? This is Mr. Finance, TK, coming at you. And I want to dovetail on the viral social media event going on right now with Patti LaBelle's Pies. I just saw a video from another young uh, black male who talked about the power of social media and what could happen if people's mindset was different. Because the only thing he talked about in his video was the business promotion that happened virally or free in terms of the latest success with branding Patti LaBelle and what was it, $3.2 million in one weekend. You know, that's the same power that happens in the record industry when you duplicate. That's the same power that happens in mega churches when that many people come to Sunday service and give at least $1. Then the same thing happens in the movie industry when one picture is released at the same time nationwide and $3.2 million happens in opening weekend. But the concentration from the last post was that if people of color had a different business mindset and was entrepreneurial based and didn't have the crab in the barrel mentality of I'm not going to support black people, I'm not going to support my own, I'm not going to get behind businesses. Because one fact that I've pointed out for a long time is that the black person, the black dollar, is the most powerful dollar on the planet. A lot of industries focus their attention on African American consumers because, based on statistics, African Americans are the biggest consumers on the planet. Our dollars leave our community one time, it comes in our hand and goes to another race's hand. So we have a history of not supporting our own. And the guy touched on the power of social media, and when something goes viral, you create a buzz. And then the term buzz in the industry means that you have the ear of the consumer base. Now, anytime you have the ear of the consumer base in business, it is a scale tipper. It turns the tide. It's the ripple that creates massive effect. So my brand has always been financial empowerment. And what I try to encourage people to do is, in this global economy wealth transfer that's taking place right now, to reposition yourself, change your mindset, and then get on the receiving side of the economic cash flow that's moving right now. See, because anytime in a recession or a boom, money either moves quickly towards you, Patti LaBelle being an example, or money moves quickly away from you. So as a group, if you band together on anything, it doesn't matter what it is, if you band together, what you create is focused energy, like a magnifying glass. When you harness the rays of the sun, you're taking massive energy around you, you're focusing that energy on a specific item, and then the power behind the electrification in that energy creates results. So he pointed out a good thing in his last post, and it's on my timeline, but he just talked about how if we had a different mindset, if we believed in supporting ourselves, and if we were to rally behind things of more importance, then we can create instant success on multiple levels for multiple people. Now, like I say, I brand myself as Mr. Finance. I've always talked to you, if you look at my YouTube channel or anything that I have on social media, I always talk about doing things economically that make financial sense, to spend money on assets, not liabilities, to actually focus your money in a business sense towards something that's going to bring money back in your house. Now, spending money on Jordans or buying Patti LaBelle's pie doesn't put money back into your house. It's a liability or a consumable item that once it's gone, it's gone. So I've always tried to get people to change their mindset and spend money on assets that appreciate and that bring money back into your home. In the latest paradigm shift that's happening right now in the global economy, the uh, US dollar is being dumped and constantly depreciating on a daily basis based on the governmental policies and deficit spending. But that's not something that our people are willing to acknowledge or even do something about. So I try to tell people, look, what if we had a million man financial empowerment movement? You know, you had all of those people in Washington, D.C., and I guarantee that economics is not one of the things that anybody talked about. You talk about black empowerment, you talk about uh, the educational movement. But when you look at history, what you see is people trying to integrate into mainstream corporate or white America, and that's what economic success is dictated on. But when you do that, you take on the oppressive, uh, I got mine, now I'm not going to help you get yours mentality. So, again, my suggestion is that we as a group take that same focused viral energy and point it towards asset based allocations that are outside of the United States dollar. And I encourage people to open a offshore gold savings account. It's free to open an offshore gold savings account, and it financially empowers you because the purchasing power is stronger than the dollar. If you spend gold currency, it spends further than if you spend paper money. So that's a simple concept. That's something that's not very hard to understand, but that's not something that people are willing to get behind and focus their energy on. But if you want to talk about individual life-changing empowerment, that happens through gold currency. Russia, China, India prove that statement to be true. Then you have extremely rich people in the economic U.S. economy that are advocating the same thing. Donald Trump talked about it. Sean Combs talked about it. Robert Kiyosaki talks about it. Mike Mahoney talks about it. A lot of people who have financial success are actively talking about the superior buying power, purchasing power behind owning gold currency and separating yourself. Because if you are let's say you have $150,000 in a offshore gold savings account, then you have more purchasing power than, say, somebody who has $150,000 in cash in a U.S. bank account. So what I'm encouraging black people to do is jump on individual empowerment based on converting paper money to gold currency, spending gold dollars instead of US dollars, and accumulating wealth through assets, not liabilities. I can help anyone through this process because I've been studying and well versed on it for over a year now. But again, let's change our mindsets and let's get to the point where positivity reigns through individual financial empowerment. And that's what I brand myself as, and that's what I encourage other people to brand themselves in the same manner. Because when you individually empower yourself through a superior purchasing dollar or a superior purchasing monetary system, then you're establishing a power that can't not be ignored. We already have the strength of buying. We already have the consumer base being, the most powerful consumer base on the planet. But if we focus our energy in one single area, and then we start to switch from wage-based income to leverage-based income, it could change every person who decides to participate. And that's different from any other viral movement, because other viral movements only benefit one person. This movement would benefit everyone who participates, because when you have a gold savings account, you become financially empowered, and the process that I'm suggesting means that everyone a high gold currency savings account that's offshore. So let's stand behind something that is meaningful and something that is life changing, as opposed to changing someone else's life and having a pyramid system where only the person or people at the top succeed.